So we'll start sitting down. Sit cross-legged, hands on knees, sitting up nice and tall. We'll do a little head circle. Just check out what's going on in the neck this morning. And that will give you a clue as to what's going on in your back, what's going on in the torso. And changing direction. And coming back up to center. We'll circle the shoulders, but keep the hands on the knees. And that will tell you a whole lot about how your body's feeling this morning. And then rocking the heart forwards, looking up, and rocking the heart back, looking down. Start to move forwards and back. So this is a little bit like cat-cow in a seated version. And notice how your breath is starting to thread into the movement. You might want to take some circles if your body's asking for that. And the other way. Going back to center, let's circle our wrists. Sun salutations are quite strong on our wrists, in fact. One of the positives. If you're prone to brittle bones in any way, then this weight bearing of the sun salutation is actually a really helpful thing. Okay, I think we'll come from here, we'll come on to all fours. Let's tuck our toes under and stretch our feet out by sitting back on our heels. You can keep your hands on the floor if you want to take it easy, or bring your hands to your heart if you want to make it a little bit stronger. Noticing how the toes are feeling this plantar fascia. And how does the breath adapt to support you here? If in doubt, just dive into your exhale. Ujjayi breath is when you can actually hear the vibration of breath moving through your throat, almost like the quietest snore. Hands to the floor and tap the tops of the feet. And then coming up onto your knees, reach your arms up towards the sky. And you can take hold of the left wrist and take a little half crescent moon over to the right. Inhale to center and then a little crescent moon over to the left. Let's go again on each side. And coming back to center and take hands behind back, interlink fingers, press palms away. And lift the heart. Keep the hips pressing forwards and be really aware of what's going on in your lower back. You don't want any pinching or any tension. And then release. Bring your hands to the floor and we'll take a little bit of cat and cow. And actually, we can direct the breath in different ways here, but how about we just watch and see what the breath does instead of directing it. But you are conscious of your breath, it's not just haphazard, it is something that you're aware of. But you're allowing the impulse of your breath to lead rather than your decision on what your breath is going to do to lead. And then let's take our hands forwards. Take a bit of melted heart by keeping the bottom high, dropping the heart towards the floor. I'm going to take my forehead to the floor because I don't want to strain my neck, but for some of you, you might want your chin to rest on the floor. That's a very strong but really powerful pose with the chin on the floor. Really opens up the throat chakra. Press the palms into the floor, rock the sitting bones back away from you. And breathe. Then keep the forearms on the floor and lower yourself down to the ground so we're coming into Sphinx pose. And with Sphinx pose, the palms are flat to the floor. Wriggle the heart a little bit further forward. There's always quite a serpent feel to Sphinx pose as you rock from side to side a little bit, and each time you edge your ribcage a little bit further forward. Your pelvis stays rooted. And for some, it's quite nice to bring palms into the floor and straighten, or definitely not straight arms, but straightening arms. But just watch out for shoulders. You don't want to be hunching up, and be really tender to your lower back. Perhaps 6:30 in the morning, perhaps the lower back would rather you keep your elbows down. And then lower your chest. Bring your hands either side of your chest. And sit back on your heels, stretching your arms out. Prayer pose. And we'll do that again. So inhale, come all the way up, reach your arms up. A little crescent moon to either side. Second round, crescent moon. And releasing your arms down, take the hands behind your back. Pressing the palms away, pressing the hips forwards, looking up. And as you look up, actually, your face is lifting as if you're looking up, but you're looking down the length of your nose. As if you were a Parisian that's unimpressed with what's taking place in front of you. And then release the arms. Take the hands to the floor. Cat and cow. Notice which part of you feels good at what point in the movement. So where's the highlight of your cat and cow? Where's the best bit for you? And then coming back to center, dropping forearms down to the floor. Dropping heart as you come into melted heart. So how about here? Where's the highlight of this shape for you? And what can you do to make there be more of that highlight? Keeping the forearms on the floor, rock yourself forwards. You might want to adjust the positioning a little bit as you come into Sphinx pose, looking again down the length of your nose. And then dropping all the way down to the floor, bringing your hands either side of your chest. Push through the hands, sit back on the heels. Prayer pose. And then from prayer pose, let's come up, tuck toes under, and come into a down dog. Let's make it a very relaxed down dog. And a very curious down dog. Heels lift high. And exhale as heels drop down towards the floor. And roll the armpits outwards so the armpits face into your heart. Your shoulders roll out. But keep all fingers pressing down into the floor. And then lift your gaze and take little steps up to your hands. And then fold. I'm going to bend my knees quite a lot, feeling a bit stiff today. There's no need to have straight legs at all. Maybe fold your arms and drop your chin towards your chest. And then unfold the arms and inhale as you come all the way up, reaching your arms up high. And we'll begin a classic sun salutation A. Exhale as you fold, hands towards the floor. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you step back. Now I'd suggest dropping knees, keeping the elbows tight as you lower your body down in one straight line. And then a big circle through the shoulders, giving your neck space as you inhale and come up. And then exhale back to down dog. And let's take 5 breaths here so that we have time and space to quieten into our down dog. Inhale as you look forwards. Gently step your feet up to your hands. Exhale as you fold. Inhale as you come up. Exhale, hands to heart. And repeat. So the breath is almost like the drum beat of the movement. It's the music that you move to. And we're not forcing our bodies to make shapes that someone else designed for us. We're using the framework of the asana to explore how our body wants to interpret that shape. So we are led by the intelligence of the body, not by an idea of something someone else came up with. Moving forward on the inhale. Folding on the exhale. Inhaling up. Hands to heart. And repeat a third time. Stepping forwards as you inhale and folding as you exhale. Inhaling all the way up and hands to heart. So we'll come into dancer sequence now. So let's come into seated chair pose. So coming down low, all 10 toes pressing into the floor. Actually, let's bring our arms just straight out in front instead of lifting them up. Bring them out in front. Tuck the tailbone under and rock your sitting bones, rather your knees, just nudge them back an inch. Keep the toes active, pressing into the floor. And scoop in the lower belly. As you exhale, fold. Half lift as you inhale. And stepping back as you exhale. And if you want to make it more dynamic, keep the body strong in one straight line. Keep the heels pushing back, heart forward. Bend the elbows, but they stay tight to the side. You don't open them out. As you lower yourself down, just 2/3 of the way. And then inhale as you roll forwards onto the front of your feet. You don't have to do that. Exhale as you come back. And the left foot turns out. The right foot steps forward. And the front knee bends to allow you to come into Virabhadrasana A. And the other option is to lift that back heel. So that would bring you into a lunge. If that feels better on your hip or your knee. Pause for some breaths. And then we open the arms out to the side, move our hips around so we come into Virabhadrasana B. And you might need to wriggle your feet. And almost always this front knee can bend a whole lot more than we realise as we drop down. Reverse. And we come into side angle. Let's just rest the elbow on the thigh. Left arm comes up and over. And this bottom hand, just notice if it accidentally gets really tense. Just give it a shake. And let there be some wriggle here as well. And a lot of room for breath. Well done. And then from here, the hands come down to the floor as you step back. Chaturanga or drop the knees. Rolling forwards and up. Rolling back as you exhale. Right foot turns out. Left foot steps forward. Inhaling as you come up. And again, you can play with that back foot. Perhaps the heel wants to lift. I'm just going to blow my nose. Or perhaps the back heel stays down. Open your arms wide to the side. Turn the hips to face the long edge of the mat. Adjust and wriggle yourself as much as you need to make space. And probably you can bend that front knee more. Dropping the back hand down, reverse. And exhale, coming into side angle. So elbow comes to thigh, right arm comes up and over. Again, give that bottom hand a little shake or wriggle. And then bringing your hands to the floor, stepping back. Chaturanga, or your version. Up dog. And down dog. Five breaths. Traveling on the inhale forwards and folding on the exhale. We're going to bend our knees, come down low, reach the arms forward in front of us, seated chair pose, and come to standing. And we're going to repeat, so I won't talk as much this time. Seated chair pose. Fold on the exhale. Traveling back. The left foot's going to turn, the right foot stepping forwards. Taking some breaths. Arms open wide. And reverse. Side angle pose. And travel to the floor. Right foot turns, left foot forwards. Inhale. Open wide. Reverse. And side angle. Travel to the mat. Five breaths. Inhale as you step forwards, and exhale as you fold. Seated chair pose, and to standing. I think we can go one more time. Seated chair pose, forward fold, half lift, stepping back, up face dog, down face dog, left foot turns, right foot forwards, Inhale to rise. Exhale wide. Inhale reverse. Exhale side angle. Coming all the way to the floor. Vinyasa. And coming all the way back. Right foot turns, left foot forwards. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, arms wide. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Hands to the floor. Take your moves. Feel your breath. Listen to the sound of the breath. Remind yourself of Mula Bandha. And then walk your feet forwards. And exhale to fold. And let's just come all the way up to standing, arms up high. And we are ready for our day. Namaste, everyone.